This is Beyond the Veil with Norman Meredith.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Norman coming from Pickens, South Carolina with another episode of Beyond the Veil. Tonight, folks, we're going to talk about a mystery that's always intrigued me. I've always heard clips, I've seen pictures of it, and I decided I'm going to talk about it here tonight on the show. Unfortunately, Jackie won't be with us tonight. She's tied up with some other projects, and it might be a couple of weeks before we see her. So everybody keep Jackie in your prayers for these projects she's working on, and herself as well, and look forward to seeing her. All right, tonight's topic, we're going to talk about a creature called the Flatwoods Monster, or otherwise known as the Braxton County Monster, or Braxy, or the Phantom of Flatwoods. This occurred back in the 1952, related to a UFO sighting. But before we get started, I'm going to keep a promise to, Sinister Brew Coffee. They sent Jackie and I some coffee here a while back, and Ed, pull up a couple of those pictures I have of the Sinister Brew Coffee that I received, please. I'm going to show you the first one is me opening up the box. Yep, there's a box, and inside I got this little poster, and then inside that box is some coffee goodness, and I'm going to show you. They sent me a big old bag of this coffee made with some pecans in it. Maple pecan coffee. Now, my mom tried that, and she loved it. And then they had some sample packets of a blueberry and a raspberry coffee. My mom also divulged into those, and she loved it. And they sent you a personalized letter as well from Sinister Brew. And I have to say, folks, I went ahead and made up a coffee of some of it tonight to try here on the show, because the way I like it is 3 sugars and a little bit of cream to make it look hot, blonde, and sweet. And I'm going to try some of this right here on the show, because I didn't want to hold off on giving a shout out to our people from Sinister Brew Coffee. So here I go. I'm going to let you know what I think. First off, I have to let you know, when this stuff cooks and it's brewing in the pot, it is a phenomenal smell, especially if you do the raspberry, blueberries, or some of the other flavors at home. It's an amazing smell to smell in your kitchen. And the coffee, it's a fine taste. I like it. It's smooth going. Unfortunately, I can't share it with my girlfriend. She's got a thing about pecans. She's allergic to them, and she said I was trying to kill her the first time I tried to get her to think about trying a sip of it before I could. But I want to give a special shout out to the folks at Sinister Brew for sending us this free samples. And hopefully in the weeks to come, we'll be doing some more shout outs to Sinister Brew and what they're bringing to the show with their free coffee samples. And they are a veteran-run organization, so if you believe in supporting veterans, please give a shout out to the people at Sinister Brew Coffee and look up their products online. You can find them there and give a shout. Try their packets. Try their coffee. They even send small samplers so you can try your next batch. I highly recommend you all give it a shot. Excuse me, folks. Give it a try. Okay? So, for the folks at Sinister Brew Coffee, thank you. I've enjoyed it. Okay? All right, tonight's show, we're going to talk about the Flatwoods Monster. Ed, bring me up one of those cute little critters from Flatwoods, please. And here we go. This is excuse Bernie. I didn't realize Bernie was in the picture. That's bad on me. All right, this is a representation of what the creature looked like that was seen by 2 adults and I think up to 7 children out in Virginia, where this has originally occurred. I'm going to read you some of the excerpts on the Flatwoods Monster. All right, now the Flatwoods Monster is known as the Braxton County Monster. They opened up Braxy, or the Phantoms of Flatwoods. In West Virginia folklore, is a creature reported to have been sighted in the town of Flatwoods in Braxton County, West Virginia, in the United States on September 12, 1952. After bright light crossed the night sky over 50 years later, investigators suggested the light was a meteor and the creature was a barn owl, perched in the tree with the shadows making it appear to be a large humanoid. This was supposedly debunked by Project Blue Book, and if you ever watched the TV series, Heinrich made a big episode of it in the TV series. So, all right, a little history here. At 7:15 on September 12, 1952, two brothers, Edward and Fred May, and their friend Tommy Heyer, said they saw a bright object cross the sky and landed on the property of a local farmer, G. Bailey Fisher. The boys went to the home of Kathleen May, where they were told their story. May, accompanied by the three boys, local children Neil Nunley and Ronnie Shaver, and West Virginian National Guardsman Eugene Lemon, went to the Fisher farm in an effort to locate whatever it was the boys had said they'd seen. The group reached the top of a hill where Nunley said they saw a pulsating red light. Lemon said he aimed a flashlight in that direction and momentarily saw a tall, man-like figure with a round red face surrounded by a pointed hood-like shape. Okay. Show me up another one as we talk, Ed. Descriptions varied in the article for Fate magazine based on the tape-recorded interviews. In UFO writer Gary Baker described the figure as approximately 10 feet tall with a brown blood red face, large pointed hood-like shape surrounded the face, eye-like shapes which emitted greenish orange yellow light, and a dark black or green body. May described the figure as having a small claw-like hands, clothing-like folds, and a head that resembled the ace of spades. According to the story, when the figure made a hissing sound and glided toward the group, Lemon screamed and dropped his flashlight, causing the group to run away. Now, according more to the story, the group said they had smelled a pungent mist, and sometime later, they said they were nauseated. The sheriff and a deputy had been investigating reports of a crashed aircraft in the area. They searched the site and reported monster, but saw and smelled nothing. And according to Baxter's account next day, Lee Stewart Jr. of the Braxton Democrat claimed to have discovered skid marks in the field and an odd gummy deposit, like something had landed and something had been left behind, which they subsequently attributed to UFO enthusiast groups as evidence of a saucer landing. Well, something could have landed. And I can remember helicopters back then had wheels, and they didn't really have skids yet. So unless it was an experimental type helicopter, there wasn't per se skids. Hi, Lisa. Thank you for chiming in. According to former news editor Hoyt Byrne, the newspaper stories were carried throughout the country. Radio broadcasts were carried on large networks, and hundreds of phone calls were received from all parts of the country. The National Press Services rated the story number 11 for a year. A minister from Brooklyn came to question the May family. A Pittsburgh paper sent a special reporter. UFO and fortune writers like Gray Baker and Ivan T. Sanderson arrived to investigate. Now, this is another picture drawn by, I forget the name of the lady. This is one from Miss May, and I think it was the other young gentleman who's seen the creature. And this is what they were showing to reporters of what they seen and how they see it. Now, how do you get an owl out of this? Anybody get an idea how you can see an owl in this? No, that's too much of a stretch. I mean, what they may have seen may have been an alien entity, and or maybe even a robotic or cybernetic humanoid android that's out there doing work in a hostile environment, possibly. But because there's been, to my knowledge, no other sightings of a creature similar to this. So it may have been a one-off. All right, now conventional explanations. Now, this is what Project Blue Book and other people have come in and said. After investigating the case in 2000, Joe Nickell of the Committee for Skeptical Inquiry, I hate such things like that. It's, skeptics, they're going to say everything, concluded that the bright light in the sky reported by witnesses on September 12th was most likely a meteor. Okay, that's very possible. Meteors. That the pulsating red light was likely an aircraft, navigation, or hazard beacon, and that the creature described by witnesses closely resembled an owl. Nichols suggested that witnesses' perceptions were distorted by their heightened state of anxiety. Nichols' conclusions were shared by a number of other investigators, including those of the Air Force. I've seen people in anxiety states. And I've seen navigation beacons. I've seen aircraft warning beacons. But I still say sometimes you see what you see. And there's a big difference, I think, between an owl, a tree, shadow, and what these folks see. All right. The night of September 12th sighting, a meteor had been observed across the states, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. According to Nichols, 3 flashing red aircraft beacons were also visible from the air of the sighting, which could account for the descriptions of a pulsating red light and red tint on the face of a disposed monster. Maybe. Maybe not. But, red light is used sometimes in helmets so you can see a little bit as a diffusion, and it makes it easier on the eyes. So if it was an intelligent creature, red light may have been used in its helmet to make it easier to see things and give it a little bit of an edge. Maybe. So that's, keep that in mind, because we use green light in our NVGs, night vision goggles, when we're searching to see things. And so that's not unusual if a creature's wearing a helmet of some sort. Maybe it has a red light in it in order to make it easier for it to see and do things. Nichols concluded the shape and movement and sounds reported by the witnesses were also consistent with the silhouette, flight pattern, and the call of a startled barn owl perched on a tree, leading research to conclude that the foliage beneath the owl must have created the illusion of a tower of lower proportions of the creature described as being pleated green skirt. Researchers also concluded that the witnesses' inability to agree on whether the creature had arms, combined with major report of it having small claw-like hands which extended in front of it, also matched the description of a barn owl with its talons gripping a tree branch. All right, folks, you got to remember, everybody's standing at a different place. Not everybody's going to see the exact same thing, standing depending on where they're at, how they're standing, and how they're looking in light conditions. So, not everybody's going to see the same thing. That's a normal fact when taking witness statements from anybody. They don't always see the same things. There's going to be deviations. So it's very possible a thing could have clawed hands because a clawed type hand is good for gripping. And yes, it's also a possibility the same clawed hands are applied to an owl. All right. According to the skeptic Ryan Hupt, even through local boy Max Lockhart admitted he had driven around the site hoping to see something in his Chevy truck. Paranormal investigators concluded that the tracks, oily residue, and bits of rubbery substance must have been left by the creatures and not by the truck. Hupp explains that the nausea reported by some of the witnesses is a symptom consistent with hysterics and over-exertion. Well, there have been reports before in other UFO landings and encounters that people have felt nauseous, and this could be a side effect of either a form of radiation, electrical magnetic energy in large amounts can cause nausea-like effects. Okay, so that's a possibility that there was a byproduct of EM energy there that may have been causing the effects that they were feeling, of feeling sick. All right, let's talk a little bit about the legacy. Officials in Flatwoods erected a sign. They've turned this into a money-making thing now. The Flatwood Monster. It's now a tourist track there in Braxton County, in Sutton. The town is called Sutton in Braxton County. All right, officials in Flatwoods erected a welcome sign which designates the town as the home of the Green Monster. The town also commemorates the legend in its annual Flatwoods Day Festival. Located in the town of Sutton, the Braxton County seat, the Flatwoods Monster Museum, which is dedicated to the legend, the Braxton County Convention and Visitor Bureau also has a series of 5 tall chairs in the shape of the monster to serve as landmarks and visitor attractions. The Bureau rewards visitors who photograph all 5 chairs with free Braxy stickers. Okay, this is going to be the highlight of my bucket list to go get pictures taken in all 5 Braxy sticker chairs. All right, The legend of the Flatwood Monster has also inspired media down West Virginia. The video game Fallout 76, Everybody's Golf 4, and The Legend of Zelda's Majora's Mask contain possible references to legend. In television, the second episode of 2019 History Channel series Project Blue Book, titled Flatwood Monster, is also based on the Flatwood incident. But in all honesty, I think these people may have encountered something. It may have been a one-off because somebody decided they wanted to take a chance and take a look at Earth and see what it was like. They may not have liked it because they hadn't come back. But, they achieved what they wanted, and they seen what they wanted. And then the chance that people who weren't there, investigators and skeptics, it's easy to say something never happened. I mean, you can always come up with the means and ways in showing all the evidence to prove it didn't happen, instead of trying to prove something did happen. And this is one of those cases where I think it's easier to disprove something didn't happen than it did happen. Because I believe these people did see a creature that night. And it was out there, it was meandering around, it was taking soil samples, taking air samples. It was stretching its proverbial legs, per se. And it ran into some humans. And the humans ran into it. It was kind of a friendly encounter. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got killed. Nobody got abducted that we know of. It just left a imprint in our memory, and now is a footnote in history. But most of all, it's become part of a culture in the small town of Sutton in Braxton County, West Virginia. So it has made a point in our history that something did happen. People accepted this and are taking it and saying, yeah, we've seen this, we did this, this is part of us. So, what do you think? Do you think they actually seen something? Or was it hysteria that caused them to think they saw something? And what they actually saw was a barn owl highlighted by a tree with the moon just right in the shadows. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think it was an owl? Was it an actual encounter? I'm going to leave you with those thoughts. And we're going to be moving on, think about what we're going to do for next week's show. But tonight was a small show. Tonight we're having some issues with the AC unit tonight in the studio, so we're not going to be running long. So I'm going to leave you with the thoughts of the Flatwood Monster, where we're at, what it could have been, and what else might be out there. All right, folks, just remember, keep Jackie in your prayers. We'll see her in a couple of weeks. Say some prayers for me. I got some stuff going on. That's all I'm going to say. And if somebody's listening out there, reach out to me. You know what I'm talking about. All right. And when you're out there about there at night and you feel something crawling along your skin, be careful looking around. Be aware of what might be walking with you. If you see something, take notes, take pictures, turn on your recorder. Tell your friends to take notes, take pictures. If you feel afraid, run. And if you do encounter something like a Bigfoot and need someone to talk to, reach out to the BFRO, the Bigfoot Field Research Organization. These people are great investigators and researchers to be more than glad to help you with your issue and take anything that you come up with them. If you run into other cryptids and all that, reach out to me. I have some friends and acquaintances that deal with the other type of cryptids, and we can probably get you some help in some way, shape, or form, or just an ear to lean on. I'm here for you. Jackie's here for you. My friend William Nighthawk is here for you. We're here to help you. Paranormal instances. I've already turned over one person that needed some help with paranormal. We have Angie and Shane helping him out now as we speak. He's reached out with his group of people, and they're helping this gentleman with his paranormal issues. If you run into UFOs and you need somewhere to vent, show, talk, you can always reach out to me, and I will find the resources to reach out to you if you need it. If you got some ideas for the show, please reach out to me. Let me know what you want to talk about, what you want to see. Share some of your stuff with me. I'm not sure if I've got the page set up, but I'm going to double check, see if you can start posting some of the stuff that y'all find Start posting it up on the page so we can see what y'all want to see and what y'all are experiencing. I want to see what y'all run into. And tell me some of your experiences and share it with the other people, because this might get someone else to talk. And we all want that to happen. We want us to talk and share information, because knowledge is power. All right, folks, I'm not going to hold you up too much longer tonight. Like I said, it's just a short show because, like I said, it's like a hot box in here tonight. And we'll see you next week with another show and some new material for Beyond the Veil. All right, folks, signing off from Pickens, South Carolina. This is Norman and his producer, Ed. Y'all have a good night and a safe week. Night all.